through this pretty quickly. Items to add to the agenda. Everybody got to look at the agenda. Does anything need to be added? If not, I need a motion for approval.
Make that motion.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally. Got a second from Ms. Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of minutes. The last meeting was September the 7th. If y'all had a chance to look at our meeting minutes. Got a motion from Mr. McConnell. Got a second from Mr. Hood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of claims. Anybody have any particular questions of the bills we paid out this month on any particular item?
Motion approved.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally. Got a second from Mr. McConnell. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Public comment. Does anyone wish to address the board at this time? Ms. Meeks?
Good evening. You all can hear me, can't you? Good evening, Chairman Templeton, Mr. Ferguson, members of the board. As most of you know, my name is Kathy Music, and I work for Virginia Professional Educators. And I passed out a brochure, and if you look at the third page of that brochure, there is, can I borrow yours? Because right here, is the third piece of paper in here. And it looks like this. We are nonprofit, and twice a year we give away the money that's left in the coffers to teachers. And you don't even have to be our member to qualify. Up to $500 if they wanted to go back to school to get an endorsement, or it's not thousands of dollars, but up to $500 helps a lot. I know when I was a principal, I got a $500 grant for laminating film for my teachers. They were very happy. My daughter, when she taught in Hilton's, got manipulatives. And when I talk to other counties, I talk about someone in this county, Lindsay Stapleton, who's applied every year and has gotten it like 11 times. So the money's given away, and if you don't apply, you certainly aren't going to get it. So if you hear somebody that needs something or wants to go back to school or whatever it is, or just wants to go to an in-service, the grants are not difficult to write. It's not like a big long form. You have to show how you're going to use it and how you're going to share it with others. So those are two things that they stipulate. But anyway, just the fall submission is November 15th. So I just wanted to get the word out there and let you all know those are available. Thank you.
You said December 15th?
November 15th. And the spring is June 15th. But November 15th is the one that is coming up. Thank you.
Are these supplied to the school, or are these supplied to the school?
Usually what happens is you have to spend the money first and then you're reimbursed. So you have to give an itemized list of what you're doing. It goes directly to the teacher.
I mean, these brochures and stuff.
No, we used to did.
Yeah.
I used to deliver them to all the schools, but recently everything's gone online.
Yeah.
So you can find it online, and I will be sending it with my minutes to all all members that I send the emails to will get a copy. But not everybody else will. But they are eligible. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else wish to address the board?
So we were at the last school board meeting, and we had been coming to a couple of school board meetings where we've been talking about a situation with Gregory Hall. And I know at the last school board meeting, you all had let us know that he was submitting paperwork for retirement. and that you were looking in to see what you could do further. I was just wanting to know if there was any further information on that or any follow-up.
We can't comment on personnel.
Okay, that's fair. So also, that brought up other questions at the last school board meeting where it was personnel and we couldn't discuss it. We talked about how there was changes with the sexual harassment training. So I think one of my concerns and one of my questions was, you know, Mr. Smith, when you answered my question, you had said that you were following up, you shared different things that you all were doing in changing with that. But my concern is why are we just now doing that? Why haven't staff been properly educated, taught, shown, however you want to word it, on how to properly do mandated reporting?
I'm not saying that they weren't.
Okay.
We have policies and procedures in place. Whenever something arises that we think we need to work on, we're going to be like any kind of company, we're going to adjust. So, us as a board, that's our main jobs, policies and procedures. When we look over, if there needs to be some adjustments, we'll make some adjustments. I mean, businesses do it, nothing's going to stay the same.
Okay. So with that being said, given that there's been complaints in the past, why wouldn't adjustments made soon?
Said that's personal issues. If there's been complaints in the past, we addressed it by our policies and procedures.
So help me understand, I know it's a personal issue, but somebody not following policy, I feel like that parents, students, I feel like they have a right to know why it wasn't followed.
That's from your opinion, I wouldn't follow it. Do you have all the facts on that?
To my knowledge.
To your knowledge?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you're not stating any facts.
Stating any facts? I mean, you come here and make accusations, but we know the facts. We can talk about some of the facts. Some of the facts we can't. That's why we don't say anything.
Okay. So I'm just going to trust that everything's being handled on your end.
As far as I know.
Okay. So here are some of the facts. So at the previous board meeting, you had said that you couldn't trust everything on social media and whatnot, right? Different, and we've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. But I think that you should be aware of how some of the people feel. This is factual. Okay?
You're speaking for them?
Yeah.
Hearsay? Hearsay?
I'm sorry?
You're speaking for them? That's hearsay, isn't it?
Well, here's the opinion. Okay? Here's the opinions. The facts of the matter is, and the opinions are, is that one of the statements even said, and I quote, "If you knew the amount of sexual abuse and sexual conduct that happens inside the walls of Scott County schools, not just by teachers, but also by fellow students, you puke. Our system has failed for years, and honestly, until every last member is voted out and a new generation takes their place, nothing will be any different." So there's been several complaints, and we've talked about it and talked about it, about how different people have made complaints to staff, principal. So at the very first board meeting in August when we came, I think it would be fair to say that you all were not aware of a lot of things that were going on. I think that's fair. I could tell by the looks on your all's faces. You don't have to answer that or even respond to it. But I could tell by the looks on your all's faces. You seemed genuinely concerned when you asked to look at photos and whatever that Misty had on her phone. So again, as a parent, and I guess I'm following up because there's not a lot of answers that can be given to some questions. And I understand that. Okay, it's a private matter, it's a personnel matter, and I get that. But again, my concern is that you all were not aware. So that means that somebody dropped the ball on mandated reporting. A lot of students did not report a lot of the things that went on because per the students, they see nothing getting done. So why report it? But for the ones that did, it wasn't handled. Now, a lot of the facts you all can't and won't share. Okay? But the truth of the matter is that we know the facts. So again, my concern is there going to be change going forward?
I would say you don't know the facts. I would say that you're up there saying you do, but you don't have, you never said a fact. You say you know the facts, but you've never said it. For a fact, I know this, or proved it, or said it, that it's a fact. You don't say that. You just say, we know it's a fact.
Okay, so
That doesn't make it true because you say it's a fact.
that is true. To my knowledge,
Well, there again, you're saying to your knowledge.
to my knowledge, nothing was properly reported. And the thing about it is that you all know if it was not or if it was. And again, I'm not expecting you to discuss it here because you can't.
No, but you get up here and you keep on saying that stuff is fact when it's not.
Well,
You don't have the facts.
okay, so if it's not a fact, then tell me that it's not a fact. You tell me for sure that what I'm sharing with you is not factual.
There's been plenty of things you said is not factual.
Okay, so what if I said that's not factual?
We heard that Mr. Hall was driving a school bus.
I didn't say that.
Your friends did, that you brought with you.
Did I say that?
No, but you said you've heard that kids have been retaliated
You're
against.
saying?
Where's kids been retaliated against? Where they at?
I said kids are in fear of being retaliated against.
You just said that they won't come forward. Why won't they come forward?
Why
Come
won't
forward to
they?
me, I'll listen to anybody.
Okay, so why hasn't anybody listened?
Nobody's come forward to me.
Okay, so why don't they? Again, this isn't something for you to be defensive about.
I'm not being defensive,
Because
I'm just getting tired of you coming up here and not stating facts.
With all due respect, I don't feel like you have the right to.
Have
I
the
feel
right
like
to what?
that to be defensive.
I do
feel
have
like
the right
as
to
a
be
mom,
defensive when
I
you're
have
saying
the
facts,
right-
that you're saying stuff that's facts, it's not facts, and you're talking about me and other members of this board.
Okay, well, I have a right as a mom to address
It's not factual.
because
I'm
it's
telling
on
you right now, it's
Facebook.
not. No, it's not factual because it's not.
So you're saying that there has never been situations where students have been sexually harassed, it has been reported, but it has not been properly reported or addressed?
Not to my knowledge.
And again, we've got an update that we'll be giving in a closed session as far as under personnel, you all, again, as far as discussion of that. So I think we can go back and forth about what's facts, not facts, but I think we need to have a proper update to the board in closed session.
But right, I'm just saying to my knowledge, I don't know that what she's saying is facts.
Understood.
Right, 5 minutes. So,
All right, just see if I can update.
thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else wish to address the board?
Yes. Hey, everyone, my name is Pam Murray, and I've come with some facts. I'm here about Mr. Hall. I have 100% proof of what did happen. I have 100% proof that I can prove where the explicit photographs came from. I have been following this since July 20th. I've done my own keeping up with what's going on Facebook and what's being said. And there's a whole lot of lies going on there. A whole lot of just lies. The photographs, the origin of those photographs came because Mr. Hall was catfished. Now, however you may feel about this and however you may feel about Greg, he was having an online relationship with a woman, or that he thought, and sharing photographs. Turns out that he was being catfished, and he was being extorted for money for several months. There's plenty of proof of that as well. He finally said enough was enough, would not talk to these people anymore that was extorting the money from him. Then they started reaching out to his family members, my family. They sent messages to our family members telling us that if he didn't comply, that they were going to share these photos with all of you, with the school system, with his family, which he did. And then all of a sudden, it gets picked up on Facebook. And I see the mob basically come after him. And one night, he turned into a pedophile. Now, I wasn't going to get involved in this, but last month, when y'all had your meeting here, what I saw go down, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it's all based on lies. Those people that came last month were misled because they were talking about the explicit photos like they were sent to children. That did not happen. He is not a pedophile. I know that for a 100% fact that there was nothing like that happened. That they took it and ran with it. Now, I saw the interview with WCYB, and she even made the statement that she knew that no, not everything is the truth. She said that because she knew she wasn't telling the truth. And, I mean, those kids, or young adults, actually they're all over 18 now, but they were laughing because they were editing photos. They said on there, one girl said, I love how I edited the photos, and now they're all over Facebook, all over social media. And she's been sharing them as if they were true. I've got all the screenshots because while she's been busy turning this into a vendetta, I've been collecting my own evidence. And I know that there is such a thing as slander and libel for defamation of character. I know for a fact that you cannot prove that those photos were sent to the children because they were not. Now, I think the confusion is that what they're complaining about, they're trying to turn that into pedophilia. And that just, I can't let that happen because that's not what happened. They're taking whatever complaints they've got and they're trying to bury him with them. And I just wanted to let the board know that everything isn't as it seems. And really, truthfully, there's laws against what they're doing. You're not even supposed to be sharing photos of people like that, especially explicit photos of people. And you sure are not supposed to be defaming people with photos like that, and edited photos that they edited and admitted to on that original post. And so, you know, I think that the important thing is truth in all this. I listened to all the speeches from the last meeting, and where they were talking about your passion, y'all's passion for the kids and all this stuff. No one talked about truth. I realize you all cannot talk about an employee. I get that. And she should too. But, you know, they didn't talk about truth. And the truth is, nothing is as it seems. And I hope it does come out in court sometime real soon.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wish to address the board? If not, we're going to move right along. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Recognition of some retirees.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Every fall, we want to recognize our retirees, and I'd like to Mr. Smith here to share with you.
Ammonia.
Share with you in regards to our retirees and their experience while being an employee of Scott County Public Schools.
This is a great time for our employees. It's time to celebrate. It's time to have, it's time to recognize the hard work of our employees, the dedication that they've put into our school system and to show that appreciation. And these retirees are a great example of that. Our first retiree, I do not see her here today, is Karen Blanton. Karen worked for us for many years. Her last assignment was she was the bookkeeper at AC High School. I do know that she worked at the Career Technical Center for several years too. But Karen was a dedicated employee. If you don't care to join me in a round of applause. Second person I see here today, I have Miss Deborah Brown. Miss Debbie Brown, Debbie, come on up, please. Debbie was our custodian at Nicholsville Elementary. Now, Debbie, I can't trace you back further than that. I don't know if you were somewhere before Nicholsville also. Where else did you serve with us?
Well, I started in 2000. I was a cook, started out at the shoemaker. Then I was transferred, I like to say, to the big house, Kansas City Middle School and High School.
Okay.
That's where I learned a lot. That's where I really learned a lot, and it was all good. It was. Then I transferred in 2005 to Nicholsville Elementary to be a cook. And then in 2008, I went into being a custodian, and then I went to first.
We are very appreciative of your service.
Just have a small token of appreciation here to recognize you.
Give them a round of applause. Our next retiree is Jane Burdine. Jane was a speech therapist. Her last assignment was at Shoemaker. When you talk about the bar set in a profession, Jane Burdine was that with our SLPs. It was very hard to lose Jane, but we wish her the very best in retirement. Let's give Jane a round. Next, we have Betty Castle. Betty was a cook at Rocco Intermediate. I know that's where she was at last. Previous to that, I know that Betty worked at Hilton. And Betty, I'm sorry if I missed any of the other ones there. I know she's not here tonight. But Betty was another hard working, kind person in our county. So let's give Betty a round of applause. We have Georgianne Cole. Georgianne Cole came to us a few years ago from the private sector into the public sector as an SLP. I know that she worked at Shoemaker and also split some at KC Middle School, KC High School as her SLP. Another strong professional, and I know Mrs. worked a lot, but a very kind woman too with our kids. So let's give Georgianne a round of applause. Yvonne Edwards was a nurse. Her last assignment was at Rocco High School. I do know that she was at Rocco Intermediate School too. Yvonne was another hard worker several years as a school nurse. Took care of our kids at some of their most vulnerable moments, and she had a heart and caring for our kids. So let's give Yvonne a round of applause. Teresa Lang was our manager at Rocco High School. I think that Teresa spent her whole career at Rocco High School, I think is where Teresa was at. Teresa wanted to make sure that those youngins were fed well every day. And again, another hard-working person that was hard work in place. So let's give Teresa a round of applause.
Teresa wanted to share her appreciation. She had sent word to us that she was unable to be with us tonight, but she did want to express her appreciation and have an opportunity to work with us.
Have Carolyn Mead. She was a cook at Nicholsville Elementary School. Carolyn was another one of our employees that really wanted to make sure that kids were fed well and taken care of each day. She also was a hard worker, and she had such an appreciation of working for the school system. So we wish Carolyn the best in her retirement. Let's give Carolyn a round. Next, I don't know how Jennifer Mead reached retirement age. She may or may not have been my teacher at one point in time, but Jennifer retired. She was the principal at Rocco Intermediate School, and she retired. She was a longtime principal at Ford and Dungannon. I know that she taught at Gay City High School. I do know 100% in fact she taught PE at Duffield Primary School too at one point in time, because I know there was a young man that had her in school. But again, Ms. Mead's a dedicated employee, a hard worker, and we wish her the best in her retirement. Rebecca Powers, who's here tonight. Rebecca, come on up. Rebecca retired with us. I know she was a custodian at Twin Springs High School. Rebecca, I don't know if you were somewhere before that, but I always had you at Twin Springs, so.
Schumacher at the good, and Nicholsville, Southern Hudson, and then the Twin Springs.
Rebecca, another one of those kind that I know that you love kids, and I know that you're a hard worker, so we were very appreciative of your retirement. Last but not least, we have Phil Quillen. Phil was a mechanic and bus driver for us. Phil, if you know Phil and you see him, there's always a smile on Phil Quillen's face when you talk to him. He lights up. He's a positive, happy person, hard worker. He is missed as far as the mechanic goes. We have been fortunate enough to have Phil come back and drive a bus for us in his retirement. So we are very appreciative of him doing that, and we're very appreciative of Phil. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Chairman, if it's okay, I'm going to keep you forward here.
Yes,
It's
sir.
okay, we have a few more recognitions here.
All right.
We have, I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun.
That's all right.
Jumping out of order. I was carried away with recognitions. My fault.
All right, we'll move to the next, Mr. Dustin Mays, going to talk to us about 2022-23 school activity count overview. Thank you.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to let me present this to you. Chuck couldn't make it. He's out of town. He had a wedding in San Diego, so I'd say he's on the beach. Of course, I'm Dustin Mays, CPA. I'm one of the partners in Charles Griffin CPA and Associates. We're out here in town in Gay City. We got an office in Athens as well. Our firm was engaged to perform the annual agreed-upon procedures for the county schools. These procedures and the results of these procedures are shown in the reports that I've given you guys, as well as we've compiled some financial statements for each of the schools, as well as a combined countywide financial statement for your viewing. The purpose of these procedures was to obtain an understanding of each school's internal control structure and to assist the school board with their annual review of these internal controls and each school's activities funds. In order to perform these, we visited each school and met with the principal or vice principal if they were available. I know some of them had meetings and stuff, so we had to get up with them later. And then we of course met with each of the bookkeepers. During our visit, we applied several analytical procedures and performed other methods of testing to ensure that a set of internal controls were established by the central office and by the school's management, and make sure that those internal controls are being applied properly. As a result of the testing, we found that an internal control structure was in place and that no material weaknesses regarding those procedures were found. I would like to take time to notice, to point out, if you look at the combined statement of changes, I believe it's the 6th page, include the cover sheet. That's the county-wide financial. You'll see that the fund balance is up roughly 21% from prior year. So that's showing good improvement from the COVID years, that's for sure. I think last year you guys were up 8%, this year 21%, so that's pretty good. And I believe all that's being used well too. It seems like almost all the schools we went to were either doing some kind of maintenance or renovation or had something going on. As always, we're grateful for the opportunity to perform these services. It's always nice to go out and meet with schools and the faculty, and everyone's always real nice and helpful to perform these and get us the information and so forth. So I appreciate the opportunity. And I guess y'all have any questions for us regarding the engagement or anything?
We can't complain on good news, can
No, it was good news. Real good news. 21% good news.
we? Thank you.
Yes, all right. Well, if you do have any questions, of course, John's got my number, and we'll just get a meeting here. Okay, thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right, next is number 9, I guess this is when you want to take home over?
That's it.
All right, yeah.
We do have some recognitions this afternoon from the Virginia School Board Association. This is the award of recognition. This award recognizes a commitment to effective school board governance through your participation in the VSBA School Board Academy from 2021 to 2022. First recognition goes to Mr. John I. Ferguson. Second recognition goes to David Templeton, our school board chair. Next recognition goes to Mr. Stephen Sally, vice chair, recognizing his commitment to the VSBA School Board Academy also. We also recognize our clerks this afternoon too. We have Kim Henderson. We appreciate your recognition to the VSBA School Board Academy also. Take care of us. And we also have Sherry Christian. Sherry, thank you for your recognition. That's all we got. Yes, sir.
All right, next is superintendent report, and hand it over to Mr. Ferguson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. First item we have is approval of 2023-2024 grant applications. We do apply for these grants from one year to the next. I ask your approval to go ahead and continue to pursue these grants as listed on the document before you.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Mr. Houseright. A second from Ms. Gilmore. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. The next item we have is the 2023 through 2028 local plan for the education of the gifted. Unless there's any particular questions in regards to this plan, I ask your approval as presented.
A motion from Ms. Gilmore.
Second.
Second from Mr. Sally. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the last item I have is the Head Start Director's Report for September of 2023. Unless there's any particular questions in regards to it, I ask your approval as presented.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Mr. Houseright. Second from Mr. McConnell. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Skip you.
Yes. And the last item I have, this is for informational purposes, is the Head Start Director's Report for September of 2023. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this document? Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that's all that I have.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. My understanding, we need to enter into a closed meeting.
Yes, I move we enter into closed meeting to discuss candidates for employment and the assignment and performance of teachers, teaching assistants, coaches, bus drivers as provided in section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia as amended.
Got a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, we're going to turn for a vote. Thank you all.